Hello, everyone, and welcome to Harmony Alumni Leadership Interview Series. And today we have our host, Mr. Daniel Bustillos,
Hello.
and our guest speaker, or our guest, Mr. Francisco Rivera, or Frank.
Hi there.
Thank you for joining us today. And
Thank you for inviting me.
I'll leave the floor to Mr. Bustillos to take it.
Thank you. All right. Well, hi, Frank. How's it going, man?
Hey, Mr. Bustillos. Everything's good right now.
That's good to hear, man. Thank you for accepting our invitation. We wanted to talk to you, get to know a little bit more about your career and the path that you took to get there. So if you could please tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you right now with your education, with your career?
Yes, absolutely. So, first of all, let me start with, I'm from class of 2011, first generation to graduate here in El Paso.
Harmony, right?
Yes, Harmony.
Harmony.
HSA-El Paso, the first school in El Paso, and then I was the first generation to graduate from here. So it was an honor.
You say it like it's a privilege. Is that some sort of privilege to graduate in first class of Harmony?
Yes, it was in a way, and because I think I see more of myself or our class like the guinea pigs. We were the first ones. We didn't have that many classes like all the APs or dual credits that the Harmony has to offer right now. But yeah, I mean,
what was your class size like? Was it big?
So, yeah, it was actually pretty small. There was 18 of us who graduated back in 2011.
I remember. Yeah.
A really, really small class, but I mean, it was a really good class. So I graduated back in 2011, and then right after that, I went to UTEP, and I pursued a degree in computer information systems, and currently right now I'm getting my master's in construction engineering. So,
oh man, that's crazy.
Yes. So I've been with Harmony for what I usually tell people. I've been with Harmony for 10 years, more than 10 years. So also right after high school, I started working as an intern. I started helping out the robotics program.
We'll get into that right now, Frank. You're getting ahead of me a little here, bro. Let me ask you something else before we go into that. It's all good. What made you, what exactly is your career right now?
All right, so yes. So I started as a teacher. I started teaching the Project Like the Way. Started teaching engineering courses for freshmen and sophomores, and it was really good years. And then after that, I started working as a counselor. I'm doing counseling for 10th grade, and also I'm the engagement coordinator. So I actually started that this year, but I started, I guess, the wrong year. Well, not the wrong year, but with this whole pandemic, virtually. So I can't wait for next year to hopefully, if everything will be back to normal, and do like fun activities for the students with all the engagement, and of course so right now I'm just doing counseling and engagement.
Okay.
Mr. Rivera, you mentioned about teaching. You taught for how many years?
I taught for 2 years and a half.
What was one of the biggest challenges for you as far as teaching goes? Was it classroom management or getting to use students or teaching or instruction or lesson plans? Did you have any difficulties or challenges, and how did you overcome those?
That's a really good question. I would say not the classroom management. If anything, with the lesson plan. Now, let me explain why. So I was the only teacher teaching those courses. So I didn't have any like guidance or any other teacher to ask for for questions.
Somebody who had already experienced the curriculum, for example.
So it was kind of difficult. But it's one of those things that with time, you start getting better. So I started communicating with other teachers from different schools, and yes, I mean, but definitely it was one of my best years teaching those.
So it's worth it teaching.
Oh yes.
That's really good to hear, man.
Absolutely.
And what was it that kind of pushed you, or I guess inspired you to pursue this career, right? This career in the education field?
You know what, Danny? So I think everything goes back. So when I was in middle school, I wasn't in Harmony or anything like that. I was at a regular public school. I was just a number. Teachers wouldn't. I mean, I don't want to say that the teachers wouldn't care about me, but I was just a number. I was just a student.
Okay.
So once I started going to Harmony, everything changed. You know how we had. I mean, we still do. Like, we had dedicated teachers were after me. Um, we would say like super late at night. They will help me with the homeworks, with the ACT. We would do robotics. So I really like that. I really enjoyed that engagement between like the staff and students. So right after high school, once I graduated, I think so I started working for Harmony. So I pretty much that's the only thing I know, like the education field.
Frank,
So
what year did you join Harmony? What grade was it?
I was a freshman, so I started right at like high school, so my freshman year. So that was back in 2007.
Yeah, that was a
You came
while
from
back.
public school, right, or private school?
I came from a public school.
What did you see any differences? Do you remember?
Yes. I mean, yes. Once again, like, so over here, where I was at, I mean, we had what, like, in one class, like, for instance, like my math class, there were like over 30 students, and over here,
There
like,
wasn't even
classes were a
30
lot
students in your
smaller.
whole graduating class.
Yes. Yeah. So I think we had more in my English class. We have more students than in our graduating class. So I mean,
You
that
have
was
more one-on-one attention from the teacher, right? As far as in
absolutely.
and in the that's great.
Yeah. And so moving on a little bit here, Frank, you know, you did kind of share that you had a lot of these things that kind of accumulated to you, like, okay, you see, I'm always in the education field. This is what I want to pursue. Would you want to share anything in specific? Was there anything that you would say was critical, like a critical event or moments in the path towards where either you are right now or what you're working for in your future, right? That you would like to share about, whether it be counseling, you mentioned you do computer information systems, like, it doesn't really matter. Just something that you would say was critical, rudimental.
Yes. So I think once again, it all goes back to my high school years. My freshman year, that's when my dad had passed away. So I had all these male teachers that I mean, they would be there for me. They would support me. And actually, my mom, she was gonna take me out of Harmony. She was gonna take me back to the public school. But then I had this one teacher who, right now, he's my mentor. He's still my mentor. Who spoke to my mom. She's like, no, don't take him to the public school. Leave him here. Um, I'll be after him. I'll make sure he goes to school. I'll make sure he'll graduate. So I think like seeing that role model that made me um, pursue the degree, like it's something related with STEM
Make
and
you attached to your profession.
BSCS. So yeah, so once again, yeah, everything goes back to my high school year.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
If you don't mind, Frank, maybe you can name it. Name your mentor.
Can you repeat that again? Sorry.
If you don't mind, can you tell us his name?
Yes. So I have actually two teachers, actually three, that made a huge impact. So remember when my dad had first passed away, there was this one teacher who was there for me at all times. It was Mr. Altamirado. Mr. Altamirado, and then Mr. Altamirado, he actually moved out to, I mean, he went to another school. Then Mr. Terrell, he was there, and then Mr. D, Mr. Davlechin. So those three people, they made a huge impact in my life.
That's good
So
to hear, man. Those people
that's
made an
why I'm
impact
doing
in my life
this. I
too.
want to be able to do the same thing with our students.
Right. That's really cool to hear, man. It's cool for me to hear because I relate to it. I relate to a lot of what you're saying in terms of like some of the I believe we might have even shared some of these people we admired. We're pretty
Yeah.
close in class, pretty close in age. I remember Mr. Altamirado. I know you were closer to him than me, but I always saw that. I definitely always saw that, like that they would take that extra step. Things that sounds a little rude to say it this way, but in a way, and with other teachers, perhaps it wasn't even any of their business to get in our lives like that, but they took the initiative to be part of our business, to be part of our life, because they went beyond just the classroom, beyond just giving us some homework, right?
Mhm.
I get that, man. It's really cool. I see how it would inspire you to continue in this career. Do you want
Yeah,
to share any memory, perhaps, of your high school years here? Something from robotics
yeah,
or
you know what? Now that I mean that you were bringing this up, I remember the first year when I started here. Actually, Mr. Altamirado, he's like, "Hey, Frank, I want to invite you to my house." I was like, "What? A teacher invited me to their house?" I was
that
like,
was super weird for me too. My
"Yes,
first
yes."
time.
So, so there were two weird things. So that was one of the first ones, and then the second one was home visits. You know, like teachers coming to your house.
I know.
So, but believe it or not, I think that created a strong relationship between the staff and the students.
And the
At least
families, dude.
yes, at least that
My
happened with
family
me.
was like blown away.
Yes. So I remember that first time when Mr. Altamirado invited me for dinner, and it was like the greatest thing. I went to his house. He had like, and they go all out. So they had like a really nice like dinner. They had like the desserts, and they had everything. You know, the Turkish tea.
Yeah.
Uh, it was just
There was a process to the whole thing, right?
yes, and then
Yeah,
like, that was my
seriously.
first time. I had to remove my shoes between like before going to the house. So that was also new to me. I was like, why do I have
Like
to remove
culture
my
shock. That's awesome.
Yes, yes, yes.
You're finding out about cultures, the food, right?
Mhm.
That's so
Getting
cool, man. Well,
that you've
moving
never
on.
had before. Before you move on, Mr. Bustillos, he mentioned about camps, and I heard he does some outside work, right? During summers. You have your own camps.
Yes, yes. So everything, I mean, everything goes back to right after I graduated from high school. So
That's awesome.
I started with Sean, another alumni. I started doing in Israel. So it was three of us who started doing summer camps. And it was just a robotics camp. And every year it just started getting bigger and bigger and just got out of hand. So it got to the point we had over 2,000 students in our camps. We had over 8 camps running at the same, like during the same year. And yes, so I still keep doing that. Every year we try to do summer camps. Right now we're doing them virtually, but yes, it's been really successful. We usually get our own interns, our own alumni to help out. They'll get compensated. So it's like a perfect way for our interns to give back to the community.
Uh, Definitely, dude. I was lucky enough to be part of the first students group to be, in your camps, and I loved it. It was new. There was a lot of innovation going on. Everything was different. We were kind of like transitioning from older school types to this STEM based, right? Like
Mhm.
just pure technology and science stuff. So it was a really, really cool transition. I was happy that it was with y'all. And we're basically done here. Just one more questions before we finish this off. What is some advice or suggestions that you would give to our students and families from Harmony?
Some advice. You know what? Something that I mean, I like once they graduate from high school, to go straight to college, to try to finish that as soon as possible. It took me 6 years to graduate. Um, I was only taking 3 classes a semester, maybe 2 classes a semester. But I would something an advice that I would give to anyone is try to take no less than 4 classes. If you can, try to take up to 5 classes every year that you don't graduate from college. You're losing a lot of money. It's potential money that you could be earning. So, yes. So once you graduate from high school, jump into college. Try to take as many classes as possible. Try to graduate as fast as possible, so you can start working
Just get it
and
out of the way.
yes, try to get out of the way. Yeah. Once again, it did take me 6 years. Actually 6 years and a half.
So you're
To
speaking from experience. You know
yes,
how it
yes,
is to take the longer way, right? Like
yes.
more time.
And absolutely, because I've seen some of our alumni right now that they have, and especially right now during high school, they offer like all these AP courses, all this dual credit, all on ramps that they get college credit. So as soon as they graduate from high school, they already have like all these college credits, so they can graduate from university once they're like 20, 21, which is like
That's really good to hear.
so
All right,
that's
Frank.
my advice.
Well, Mr. Rivera, thank you for joining us today and making this interview series, alumni leadership interview series, possible. So I truly appreciate your time today. I would like to thank Daniel Bustillos for being our host today. Thank you so much, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be posting and adding more videos of this series. Thank you so much.
You guys
Thank
take
you.
care. See you.
All right, take
Nice
care.
talking
Thank
to you,
you.
Bye.
Frank.
Have a good one.